This is the Red Loafer reaction show to yesterday's 2-1 win against Blackpool, a last-minute winner from Matt Roberts, sealing 3 points. So we're going to react to that, and then we're also going to preview Tuesday night against Charlton Athletic. Let's get stuck into it. So, Tracy, you were there yesterday. Pre-match, we had sort of muted expectations over this one, given sort of the previous games and how it had gone. But a much improved performance, and obviously a much better result than what we're all sort of expecting anyway.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the game, which is not very often I've said that this season. Just an enjoyable experience from start to finish, really. And maybe it is because I went in with probably a low expectation. Before the game, bumped into a few people chatting about our expectations, and everyone was saying the same, just wanted an improved performance. I don't think anyone was expecting necessarily a win. They just wanted us to play better, and we did. Slight change in personnel, as always. Putting Luca back in that holding role, where I think obviously that's where his strength is, and I thought that made a massive difference to our performance. He was back to probably, I think he had probably the best game of the season I've seen him this season. He was dictating play, really controlling that midfield, and pushing on obviously Phillips and Russell. Russell in an unusual, surprised to see him start. As most people are aware, I am not John Russell's biggest fan, but to be fair to him, I thought he played reasonably well, and you know, he was assisted for the first goal. Gent and Keeler Dunn on the left really seemed to work together well. And again, probably a bit of a surprise not to see Barry Cotter start, who I thought was he's probably going to be fuming not to start, because I think he's been consistently in our best players this season. So it was a surprise not to see him start, but we started well, positively, and got the goal that we deserved. Great finish from Keeler Dunn, not dissimilar to the first goal he scored. Similar sort of things, cut inside, and as soon as we were sat pretty much behind it, and as soon as he cut inside, we were like, "This is going in," and finished it sort of confidently as we'd expect, and what we'd hope for from him. So first half, pretty similar. We edged it, I would say, just. They had probably 10, 15 minutes where they were probably the better side, but pretty happy. Second half, started again pretty well. And then Phillips got injured. At first, I thought it was another ploy. I thought it was a Slanina, sit down, we all need to chat. Let's do it Phillips this time instead. I actually thought that was it, but it wasn't, and he was actually injured, so hopefully that's not too bad. And then he made the subs again. Nobody, you know, it wasn't the biggest surprise. Probably surprised to younger Nathan come on, but subs came on, and literally as the subs came on, they got a free kick, and it was an horrendous bit of defending, and they scored. It was a combination of Roberts completely missing the ball, MDG getting bullied, and Slanina just not reacting, not coming out, whatever. I think it has to go down, from my point of view, was probably a keeper error. And then, to be fair, for 15 minutes, we got absolutely battered, and their crowd was bouncing, and everyone looking around thinking, here we go. We fell to pieces. We lost all our sort of mojo. We were all over the place. Players were looking around, pointing at each other, and I was just waiting for them to score again. And, you know, when you just think, this is exactly how it's been all season. We're in control. We're 1-0 up. We started to slightly drift back. And then before we know it, I was just thinking, here it comes. But to be fair, we weathered the storm. Throwed everything at them. Showed a bit of sort of clout, if you like. And didn't get bullied, and came back. And then we just came back into it. And with like 8-10 minutes to go, I'm thinking, we might get something out of this. Then we made the subs, which, again, was a bit of a farce. They called Roberts to come off. This was just before the corner. Robert starts walking off. No, it's not you, Mark. No, change of plan. It's not you. It's Gent. So then Gent goes off, Bynes comes on, and then it was a bit, who else is coming off? Humphries was coming off. We're thinking, why is Humphries coming off? It's a corner. Bring on Jallo, use his height at the corner, naturally. Then Connell delivered great corner, and Mark Roberts came off his shoulder, looped into the back of the net. They had another guy on the post. Don't know what they were doing. Obviously assumed it were going wide. It didn't. I think Mark Roberts was as surprised as everyone else when it just dropped into the back corner. And celebrations, limbs everywhere in the away end, limbs everywhere. And then even then, they put 2 minutes added time. I think we played 6 in the end, and there was a couple of they had a free kick late on where you're thinking, here we go, but no, we hung on, and it was pleasing to see the players at the end of the game were absolutely buzzing, jumping around. It meant something to them. The fans were pleased. It was all round a really good good day, and I think the fans that were there and the ones that watched it on TV would have at least seen some passion, things that we've been talking about, improved performance. Yes, the result obviously is important, but everything that we'd asked for was there. So now, of course, we just carry it into our home form because our away form on paper now is looking pretty good. Not quite as good as last season, but yeah, let's just see if we can take it into Charlton at home on Tuesday. And as Daryl says, make Oakwell a fortress.
Yeah, because it really has not been a great fortress over the last couple of seasons at all. Um, Andy, it is one of those things now. Obviously, Blackpool's goal yesterday, it was so soft of the way it's come in. Of like Roberts doesn't deal with the first ball, but then again, it's something it's going to land in around the 6 yard box, which you'd be expecting Selena to just come and either punch it, catch it, just come and take charge of that area. And it seems like it's becoming a little bit too recurring now of mistakes from Selena, and they're not. It's not like they're not. He's not getting away with them either. They're more or less always resulting in a goal when he does make these mistakes. But then when you look at games like Huddersfield, the game before that, he had a really good game, and it's probably the only reason why it won 4 or 5 at one point. So it's just inconsistencies with a young keeper, isn't it?
It certainly is, and we can't keep affording to give soft goals away like that. It was a good delivery. In fairness to the Blackpool player, he put in a good cross. But it should have been dealt with by as the cynical one below me has said. Oh, so young and so cynical.
I'll
Adam
take that.
Phillips.
Young, I'll take it.
I know that is moving us round. You're not below me now. It's just done that. It's done that. You're below me on mine. God, dear me, dear me. So young and so cynical. Poor Adam Phillips. He goes down injured. What does Tracy say? He's having a minute. He's doing a gaga. He's just having a rest. He's taking the heat off. He were injured, bless him. Yeah, we can't keep. It's you can. When the cross went in, I thought this could be a goal because defensively sometimes we seem to go missing. And Blackpool, the home of Charlie Caroli. Well, it was yet again. Charlie were either in back three or in nets for that one moment. It did all right apart from that, but yeah. After two hopelessly inept performances against both with two different teams, both against Huddersfield, I thought it was going to be interesting to see how we came out and went for this, and we did all right. Apart from as Tracy so eloquently put, a moment where they took over just before they scored and then after they scored, and it were looking like it could be the same old story. We started off pretty well, we had some shape, and that's what we've been crying out for: some tactics, some shape, and not having people press individually for absolutely no damn reason. We did a lot better. That's where Lucas should be playing. It's pretty clear. That's where Lucas should be playing. He did really well. Personally, I thought, as Tracy's put, I thought Johnny Russell had a good game. I was surprised to see him, as Tracy said, in an advanced position. And I've been wanting Keeler Dunn to be sort of more in the middle rather than stuck out wide, because I think he's like another Adam Phillips. He can play there, more centrally and get more involved. But he took his goal really well, and as Tracy said, as soon as he got it, he cut inside, and you could see we're going to stroke it into the far post. The right hand post from where we could see it. So that were a good goal, and I think it was quite well deserved. I don't think we played badly. We passed it a lot better. I was surprised. That. And disheartened a little bit when Adam came off, and I don't want him to be, if he's you want him to be right. I don't know if it were his ankle, which it looked like to me, or whether it a recurrence of his toe injury. But hopefully he'll be back. He'll be back soon. But to take him and Johnny Russell off at the same time decimated midfield and brought two, Jorgen Nathan and Craig on both at once. I don't like that. I think it should be more. I think, but to Arno, it should be more steady rather than wholesale changes like that. In a midfield three and two of them come off. That bothered me, and I think that didn't result in the goal. The goal just bad defending. Um, but we looked all over the place for a bit until we got back, and a bit like Cos's goal against Wickham last year, which I thought was goal of the season. This year, shoulder blade goal of the season, best shoulder blade goal I've ever seen. And I was saying to Jonathan, get ready. We brought Big Donny on for the corner right at the end. Big Donny on, and I said, Big Donny's going to win it for us. And he must have taken about 30 players with him. And there's Mark. Here, I have my shoulder. And I don't know how that looped in. I don't know how he managed to get his shoulder blade to get it over there. What the defender were doing, I don't know. And I just pray to God we don't sign him for next season, because it's a possibility where we defend at times. But all in all, it looked, apart from, as Tracy said, the bit where we looked a bit ragged and a bit all over the place. I thought tactically we looked a lot better. As a team, we looked a lot better. We passed it better. There's still some wayward passes, but that's going to happen when you try to pass it. But at least we tried to pass it. They look pretty. Young George again had a good game. He had a difficult, tricky winger that were always, left-footed on right wing that were always going to cut in, and get him a bit of a time. But he did all right. I thought he did pretty well. And I also thought, and like Tracy, I was surprised. I also thought Corey O'Keefe had a good game and all. I thought, kept. I don't know why they don't. He always cuts inside and then sets off Prince. I don't know why they don't see that, because we know what he's going to do. But I thought he had a pretty good game. So I thought, all in all, we didn't look too bad. I thought, Steve Humphries obviously is clearly starting to get fitter and get more up to speed, because he were a bit of an handful. It's just the wholesale changes just seemed a bit daft really, but much better. And let's see that we don't undo it on Tuesday night. But yeah, a lot better. We needed that.
We certainly did. Tom, in terms of just taking it back to sort of pre-game, to be honest, a couple of changes in there that I don't think many people would have seen coming, sort of, especially John Russell coming in, because he didn't really pull up any trees in the JPT game against Huddersfield either. He wasn't one of those players that sort of sat head and shoulders above the rest of the players on the pitch. So that came as a bit of surprise. And Barry Cotter has been dropped for O'Keefe. Again, another one that was a bit why, because he's just won Player of the Month as well. So I think from that team that was starting, there are a few sort of different additions in there, but I think all justified why they've been selected. Obviously, John Russell with the assist for the first goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously don't see what happens in training. We don't know how well they've trained. We only get to see it on a Saturday, and you look at team sheets, and sometimes you think, why on earth is he picking them? What have they done to justify that? Why isn't this player playing? Many times I was thinking, when Humphries first signed, why ain't Humphries playing? Why ain't Humphries playing? And then Humphries came out and said, basically, I'm not fit. I'm blowing out my bum after 20 minutes. So it makes sense. And, people moan about different substitutes that he does. But you think about it, players getting tired and things like that. They probably do make sense, but just at the time when it doesn't go right, especially like, yesterday, 67th minute makes two substitutes, 68th minute we concede. It just makes it look like a horrendous decision. But you can sort of see why he's making. Obviously, if Phillips is injured, you've got no choice. But you can see why he's making the substitutes. I think the last minute winner, I'm not having it that he didn't mean to do that. It was definitely he knew what he was doing. If he shouldered into it, looked it over, he knew. I'm not having it. But yeah, you need a bit of luck, basically, in football. You can be as tactically adept as anybody, but if you don't have that little bit of luck at times, you know, you concede at the wrong time and game goes from you. Like Tracy said, we were pretty much in control. Ball comes in, the score from nothing really, and then all of a sudden we're on back foot and we look panicked.
Yeah, it is sort of.
Can I just add what Tracy said? 4 minutes the referee put up, 4 minutes. And the only thing that happened is we scored. 30 seconds you're supposed to have. 6.5 minutes added on. He gave them after the 4 minutes were up. And I know it's a minimum of, and you know, people can say it's a minimum of, you know, you need to learn rules. I don't care whether it's a minimum or not. 4 minutes he put up. 6.5 minutes. Here, have another chance, Blackpool, to score. Go on. Oh no, you didn't score with that one. Here, have a free kick at edge of box. Have another go. I thought that was shameful. And I'm not going to mention referees.
I'm not obviously I'm not quite as upset as referees as you are generally, but
They're useless.
I was getting rather upset yesterday at the referee. I thought the same. I was thinking, do you want to just put ball in net for him because you just keep giving him chances? And the number 17 who came on, who actually was an handful, a Noma or something like that, he made two terrible challenges.
Yeah.
And the first one when he just like pulled somebody down in the middle, and then a terrible tackle. I think it might be on Younger Nathan, and it was like, are we booking ref or because you've? And it was, yeah. I thought he lost a bit of control late on.
I thought it was ridiculous. I tell you, it just reminded me of Brian Glover in Kes. All that were missing were referee jumping at far post and nodding it in for him right at the end. It was rubbish referee.
Josh, I hope in comments you're going to put a time stamp in, so and just put Andy complains about referee again
For a change.
Yeah, for a change.
Something different this week.
How can you criticise me wearing an hat that looking like that?
What, this red
With
all
Nebo.
over hat, this lovely bit of merch.
It is, but with Nebo. Get your neb bent over and pulled down a bit at front.
It's not supposed to be bent over. It's supposed to be flat.
It's a family show. You can't be saying things like that.
You look like a Wally. Flipping Nebo.
I don't need to wear an hat to look like a Wally, to be fair.
No, that's a fair comment.
But
at least we agree on that.
It's fashion these days. You must have.
Oh no, that's not fashion. Listen, I'm not. Listen, there's lots of things we can talk about. I'm not having Tom Webster being fashionable. Not when his wife got the correct score.
Yeah, a very annoying result as well. 2-1, just in terms of prediction league.
And I didn't get it. I put 2-1 to Blackpool. I can't believe I lost faith. Well, I can believe actually after the
naysayer.
Oh, I'll tell you what. There are a good number of people. I'm going to tell you who they are. A good number of people got the.
We just correct stuff. Him in.
Well, I know one of them.
I knew 8 of them.
He knows one. Listen, 8 of them. There were so many people, you know. Out of 50, what is it? 55 predictions. 30 said we'd lose, including me, really.
Me and kids and all.
I know. I'm ashamed of them. They would stick off at show. I'm ashamed of them. but there were Dave Booth. Dave Booth held the faith. Dave Booth, one of our sponsors, he held the faith. He went for it. Michael Brewer, who I think he just closed his eyes and put 2-1. Nick Nutt, Leighton, Laura, as we've said, Michael Hodgson, good lad, Michael, and best of all, the Mulshoe family. Oh, the Mulshoe family. The dad, he went 1-0 to Barnsley. But his partner, wife, and two kids, Alia and Olivia, all put 3 out of 4 put 2-1. They held their nerve, held the faith, and were richly rewarded. So I'm hoping that, you know, the ones that aren't vegetarian can have a chicken dinner, but that family have definitely got the Nostradamus Award of the week, because 3 of them got it right. So not naysayers like restaurants.
No, keeping that positivity flowing. Have a 2-1 win, especially off the back of all those results as well. Fair play.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to move forward now and look at Charlton midweek. So, stats back on the screen. Manager Nathan Jones, top scorer Matty Gooden with 3 this season. Sat 12th in the league. Form, draw, win, 3 losses. Key player Connor Coventry and formation 3-5-2. So, Andy, one of those sides, I know early on this season, pre-season, I reckon that Charlton will be well up there, but we're still early stages where a loss can plummet you down the league, and also a win can fly you up it. But they're in and around it, and Nathan Jones knows how to get out of this division, and knows how to set up a very, very difficult side to play against. So, Charlton, what do you think to it?
He knows how to beat us and all.
Mm,
But yeah, he's a really good manager, but he's one of those managers that I really don't like because he's good. Um, yeah, they've got a pretty decent strike force. Is it Matt Godden and Tyrese Simpson? I like Tyrese Simpson, a big strong lad. So they're both of them playing together. The only thing I think, unless you tell me different, I think the 15th, something like that, somewhere around there.
12th.
12. They've not done so well. They've not 12. They've not done so well recently. They've lost a couple. They drew yesterday. They've lost a couple. Um, they're a they're a decent side, I think. Last season they should have done really, really well. Didn't seem to be able to get them to play as a team. They brought in Lado, and he'll get them playing as a team. So I can see them gradually going higher and higher. But tell you I just thought we don't do what we have to, what we did against Huddersfield, for example, and give them that fillip to start rising up. Let them keep drawing and losing because they've lost. I think it's 3 out of the last 6 and drawn a couple. They haven't won much. I think they've won 2 of the last 6, but not so much lately. Similar away from home, they've not been pulling up any trees. Let's hope they don't pull any trees at Oak. It's just a joke. All right, Tom. All right. I can't believe you're shaking your head. I thought you'd be more like laughing policeman on
That's not
Blackpool
bad for
Beach.
half 8 on a Sunday morning.
Blackpool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
He won't even know that is Blackpool policeman, I bet.
Not a clue.
that.
I know.
Oh my days! Oh, almost both with policemen, and you put your money in, it goes ha 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 ha. That was perfect rendition. It does that for 3 minutes.
I thought it was him.
For 3 minutes.
It's ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, they have to have them on most seaside resorts, but particularly at Blackpool. If ever you come across a laughing place, put your money in because I guarantee 3 minutes of it or wherever it is, it just does that. That's all it does. But you will start laughing because you can't not laugh at it.
Or it'll
this
scare the
TikTok
living daylights
generation.
out of your kids. It'll scare the living daylights out of your kids because it's
Well,
weird.
that's an added bonus, that for me.
This TikTok generation and what have you, we've not got the attention span
Get the
to last
money
for
in.
3 minutes.
Yeah, the laughing policeman. I don't know how I've got onto laughing policeman, but
No, neither do I.
I've got onto that. I hope he's not playing in our defence. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think they're a funny side I honestly think that they are better than their position has been over the last season and a half. So hopefully Nathan Jones won't get them playing as a team on Tuesday night. They'll be a bit tired coming up to the cold north. These southern softies aren't used to coming up to cold, rarefied air of South Yorkshire. Hopefully they'll go back feeling chilled.
Wow. Poetic almost then. Almost poetic of the difference in North and the South. Tom,
Well, at least it's not a satanic mill. At least that.
a side that I think we historically seem to struggle against Charlton, both home and away. It always seems to be a side that we seem to struggle against, and a manager that we struggle against as well. And a team of almost, as Andy said there, almost individuals where individual quality, you look at it on paper, it's a good side, but they just can't get necessarily the team to gel properly because realistically, it's probably a side on paper that should be top 6 minimum, but they are sat 12 on 17 points, so 1 point behind us, which I think makes them basically 1 point behind 6th, and there's 4 teams on 17, so it's not like they're miles away from the playoffs anyway, because it's just so tight in that part of the league. But results-wise, seems like they struggle against the worst teams, but got to win against Birmingham, and they do better against better sides than when they play sort of Shrewsbury's, for example.
Yeah, it's a very congested league, so there's not much in it, but 1 win and they're probably in playoffs, and couple of losses and then they're looking over the shoulder. It's sort of same as us, really. And they seem very, very inconsistent, beating Birmingham, but losing against Bristol Rovers recently. So they're a weird side. I think if their players run at ours, that they might get some joy. But if they try and play through us, we might be all right. I spoke to you a week ago of the style of play. Basically, I'd listened to a podcast and a guy in it called John McKenzie were talking about City and how they play, and there were so many similarities between our style and basically Pep does the exact opposite of what you'd expect of the mark the space and give the opposition space and say play through us, and that ends up increasing our interceptions and blocks if we're actually playing poorly. So against Crawley, we had 16 interceptions and only 2 blocks, and obviously we're quite on top in that game. Blackpool 14 interceptions and 7 blocks. So obviously that would be the period where they started doing quite well. But then you look at Huddersfield and it was 7 interceptions and 7 blocks. So I think the way we've started playing, I think he's got a style. I just don't think he's picked up a formation yet. And also sort of similar to Pep, there's a lot of rotation with players. And I don't know if he's just decided I'm going to copy him, and it's just that sort of thing because he's the sort of flavour of the month. But I just when I looked at it, I listened to him, and I was just like, wow, this is really strange. At how like every time the opposition seemed to get the ball, we drop off and just sort of we're not marking anybody. We're just sort of marking space, and I found that really strange. But basically, if the idea behind it is it lowers their shots on target essentially, but it gives them a higher XG. Whereas if you press higher, it's the exact opposite. They get more shots, but it's a lower XG, and it's just it's a balancing act. Basically, is what we're saying of whether you get an upside from that or not. But in this league, I think there's too many teams that press, and I think that's going to be the downfall of us. And if a team runs at us, because our defense is pretty slow, I think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, very interesting point. You did mention that to me earlier this week, and I found that very interesting that we're trying to emulate Man City with the riches of quality we've got that's akin to theirs.
Well, basically, he did say like it's not working as well this year for him, and that he reckons that's probably because the Premier League players have got better. They've got a better quality of player, and they've caught up to Pep's side because it's a lot harder to. It's easier to do against a poorer team. A lot you can control the ball, and once you've got the ball, it then tries and plays in their half, and it's just really slow, methodical passing, and until they break them down. And obviously, he's got the cheat code of Ireland up front, but yeah, like I said, you can see it against poorer sides that when we're on top, we look dominant. But then against sort of better sides, we've looked really poor.
I think it sort of does feed in as well a little bit to when you mentioned about pressing. Then of you look at that first goal against Blackpool, of they were chasing us around, but we actually played straight through their press, and it will just I think with Josh Hall's passing to John Russell, it basically unlocked everything. Of there were 4 or 5 Blackpool players that pressed the back line, and they're all out of game, and it was just a quick turn and play out to Keeler Dunn, and he's got a chance to run into him. So very, very interesting that we're trying to copy Man City of all clubs in League One, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Does that make us the Man City of this league or not? Maybe Birmingham actually they've got enough money for it. Tracy, what do you reckon then to Tuesday? Because a nice home game, at Oakwell Tuesday night under the lights. It's got to be a win on it, surely.
Difficult, I suspect. They're a tough side to beat. I've I've not seen Charlton play once this season, so I'm not going to triangle into anything about Charlton. I've read a few of their sort of podcast type things on X and whatever, and what I can say is that their fans feel pretty much, I think, in line with us. They are very frustrated. They expect them to be better than what they are doing. We were very akin, I think, in the way that our fans are feeling. Well, up until yesterday, they got a draw, so I suspect they're probably not feeling that much better. So yeah, I think it'll be a tough game. They're always a tough side to beat, and as we've said, as everyone said, Nathan Jones, he knows what he's doing, and they always have big, strong centre forwards. I think that's what Charlton have always done, and we're obviously not necessarily still playing to our full potential at the back, prone to a few mistakes. So yeah, I don't anticipate it being an easy night. And Tuesday night under the lights, will it be bouncing? I don't think it will be. I don't think there'll be a huge crowd on, if I'm being honest. I know they've tried to give away lots and lots of tickets, and bearing in mind, I think I've got potentially, quite a few tickets going, and not one person's asked for them. So it says quite a lot. One thing I didn't mention about yesterday, and I just want to get it in before we finish, the minute's applause during the game for Steve Bruce's grandchild was probably, when I say the best, it's a sort of an indirect thing to say, but the game stopped. Selena had the ball, and the crowd started clapping, including all the Barnsley fans who stood up quite rightly. But the referee actually said to Selena, like, just keep the ball. And the players clapped, the referee clapped. It was quite something that I've never seen before, and completely correct, the right thing to do. But I just think on behalf of us and all of Barnsley, so it's been said, but tragic circumstances, and it was quite rightly, given the sort of the importance that it was yesterday, and the game actually stopped. So, and I didn't mention that before, and I think it deserves mentioning. So, yeah, there we go.
No, it certainly does. It's good to see sort of there are things that are bigger than the game that's going on. It's good to see that sort of, I don't know if it was pre-agreed necessarily for him to sort of stop in that way, but it seems if the ref said it as well, they've been like, just keep it for a minute. It's good to see sort of both players, both sets of players and both sets of fans just supporting Steve Bruce as well during this time as well, and sort of his family and everything, which is great to see. Right, predictions, Andy. What do you, in fact, I might as well skip you and just go straight to Tom, because I know what you're going to say.
Crikey. Gone to you, Tom. We're out.
Is it me?
Yeah, go straight to you, because I know what Andy's going to say.
Don't switch up. You've got to stay up ball, Tom. You've got to keep listening, Tom, not just switch off until somebody looks at you.
It takes time to get past that.
In and just gone,
Where's Smithy when I need him?
I thought you'd have led into it and go, no, I'm not going to go my usual 2-1 and then start going out, gear long speech and then go 2-1 Barnsley. I thought that's what you were going to do, Andy. Sorry.
No, I haven't. Where's Smithy when I need him? In Blackpool, that's where Smithy is.
He's putting his money into that laughing policeman, isn't he?
He
is the laughing policeman.
I'm not having that, Alan. I'm not having that, Alan. Go on then.
I honestly don't know. They're up and down. We're up and down. It could be absolutely anything. So I think I'm going to play it safe and go for a Desmond 2-2.
Oh, interesting. I won't say that's safe either. I'm scoring twice.
No, I mean, again. I'm sitting on fence. It's not a good prediction. It's just I can't really upset anybody with that.
Splinters all I'm hearing. Tracy?
Yeah, I'm going on the same fence. But wow. I don't think we could score 2. We'll not get another shoulder. So yeah, 1-1.
Ooh,
1-1. Andy?
Dear me, I can't. You're supposed to be Barnsley fans. What's wrong with you both? I can't get. Come on, Alan. Get Wi-Fi sorted out in Blackpool, Alan.
Hey, Wi-Fi's all right in Blackpool.
Oh, it's just Smithy then. It'll be interfering with his breakfast.
He's been lazy.
That's the key. That's the key there.
I'm expecting, as soon as we finish, I'm expecting to open my phone and the Smithy tucking into a breakfast photo or something like that.
For a change.
Oh, come on, have some faith. Like me, I went 2-1 defeat yesterday. Let's have some faith. Let's get back to winning ways. We did it yesterday. Let's have some faith. 2-1 to the Barnsley. They'll not want to come up onto a cold Barnsley South Yorkshire evening. They'll not like it. 2-1, and they'll be lucky to get one.
You banked a lot on this cold evening.
I don't
No.
think they'll be lucky. I think Slanina will probably just throw it to one of their strikers or something daft.
No, referee will rise at back post and head it out onto Tyrese to slot it in from goal line. No, I'm just clutching at straws, Josh. Cold evening in Barnsley. I'm just clutching at straws. That's
Have
all
we
it
had
is.
2 wins on the bounce yet?
We will this week.
Oh, right, okay.
We will. We might have
That's
3
all then.
this week. Could be 3 this week.
Yeah.
Get ready. And then your
Interesting.
2 can hold your heads in shame.
I
Well,
Josh
think,
hasn't said his yet. Josh hasn't said
yeah,
his yet. We've only gone for
no,
a draw.
yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm going for a 1-0 win.
good lad.
I'm going for a
Nice
1-0
one, Josh.
win.
That's what I like to hear.
Always
I'm
throws up a
scared.
strange game, does it? Playing Saturday and then Tuesday. Less time to prepare. And they've got, it'll be a long train or bus journey up, You don't fancying
Will
that.
not like it.
You're
Will
not
not like
fancying
it.
that. We've got to say in a, what will it be? Travel lodge just on outskirts of town. Not going to fancy that either.
They'll get to Watford Gap and think, oh, it's got chilly, it's got cold. They'll not like
Exactly.
it.
They're not going to fancy it. Yeah, I'll go for a 1-0 win. We'll see. Clean sheets. I've had one of them this season yet.
Yeah, Crawley.
Crawley.
Oh, yeah. But they're getting away clean sheets, aren't they? Right. We'll be back on Wednesday with our reaction to the Charlton game and then preview who would we play on the Saturday? Shrewsbury away.
That'll be
Oof, coming thick and fast these games now. Tuesday, Saturday, every single week. Yeah, so we're back on Wednesday with our reaction to the Charlton game and previewing Shrewsbury. And hopefully, it'll be a positive reaction show after
will be.
2 wins in a row. And we're going to set ourselves up and we're going to really kickstart our season. Let's see. We'll see you there, you Reds.